Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Media Bureau's webinar on our modernized cable operations and licensing system, better known as COALS. I'm Hillary DeNigro, Deputy Chief of the Media Bureau. With me today is Jeff Newman, the Media Bureau's Chief Engineer. COALS is the Commission's system for registration of cable operators and multi-channel video programming distributors. It's the tool operators use to comply with certain reporting requirements contained in the Commission. The legacy COALS system, originally established about 20 years ago, had faced some challenges due to the passage of time, and it required some attention. After a period of development, on October 11, the legacy system ceased taking new filings. And on October 18th, we were pleased to be able to place into service a modernized version of COALS. Hopefully some of you have had an opportunity to see that already. As a result of the new platform, the modernized system offers improved security, reliability, and performance. It also brings filings for the Cable Antenna Relay Service, CARS, fully online, and it hosts the Equal Employment Opportunity annual filing. During and after the webinar, you can direct questions to a dedicated email help line at coals_help@fcc.gov. After the presentation, we'll try to get to some of those questions that are of general applicability. If you have questions that are specific to an individual user, we'll try to address those questions via reply email. Today, Jeff Newman is going to be introducing users to the new version of COALS, including accessing the system via the COALS login rather than the old the CORS login rather than the old COALS ID, providing a functional overview of the new system, demonstrating the public search function, how to use notifications and printing, upcoming improvements we anticipate, and how to get help if you need it. I'm going to turn the presentation over now to Jeff to walk us through the system. Jeff, over to you.
Thank you, Hillary. It's a pleasure to be before everyone today, showing off our hard work. And to begin with, I'd like to say just briefly that the goal of this project was to bring forward the functionality of the old system, but on a new modernized platform, one that would bring us additional security, functionality, and of course, performance for folks. That being said, there are a few key changes that are being made, and I'd like to walk through those now. The biggest change will be the retirement of the COALS ID and the bringing on board of CORS usernames and passwords as the means of logging into COALS and eventually the systems that rely on COALS. For those of you not familiar with this process, it's used widely throughout the Commission now, but in brief, it allows FRN owners to delegate access to specific users. That is, there's no more sharing of an FRN and password, but rather everybody can have their own account to which one or more FRNs have given them permissions. This allows easy bringing on board of new people to help, sharing with firms or outside project management groups that might be assisting you, and so on. The login to get a CORS username and password and to delegate access from an FRN is on the screen. Now, we selected or chose an FRN for every community and non-cable community and for all systems that were in the legacy system based on the last FRN used to file for them. For most people, this is the FRN that makes the most sense. That being said, if you are curious what FRN has been assigned to a particular community, to see that, you can use the public search, which we'll talk about in a moment. There are two major systems which rely on COALS for login support and used the COALS ID as well. Those are the online public inspection file as used by cable operators, and the post-incentive auction reimbursement program for cable operators. Both of those systems will continue to use COALS IDs and passwords for the short term. The online public inspection file will update to CORS usernames and passwords in mid-November. And so that transition will occur. In order to access your accounts there, please ensure that your FRNs are correct in COALS prior to that time. For the incentive auction reimbursement program, we do not plan to transition it to CORS usernames and passwords. We believe that that program is near completion, and within the next couple of months will be concluded. And so there, you'll just continue to use your COALS IDs and passwords. Obviously, with the retirement of the legacy COALS front end, you can no longer change passwords or make ownership changes that are reflected by the COALS IDs. For that, you will need to contact us. For reimbursement, please email the reimburse helpline email address, which is on the bottom of the screen. When you access COALS through the URL that was earlier in the slide, you'll be presented with this, our brand new welcome page. Selecting either the middle tile, COALS CARS public files, or the EEO filing portal will result in you being taken to into a login screen. Public search, of course, can be accessed without being logged in. That logon screen will look like this. You may have seen it before. This is where you enter your CORS username and password. Once you have logged in, you'll be presented with the list of FRNs to which you have been delegated access. You do not need to be delegated administrator access. Read-only access to the FRN is sufficient for use in the COALS system. Once you select once you select an FRN to work with for your session, you'll be brought up to the dashboard, which I'm going to show you in just a second. The dashboard provides an overview of a lot of great things. I'm not going to read this list out to you. In fact, I'm just going to show you. CORS CARS filing portal. Select an FRN to use. This is our test system, so this data is not real, but it looks sort of real. The first thing you'll see in the upper right, besides the name of the company that you've selected for your FRN, is whether or not you have any, whether or not this FRN is underneath a red light hold. Below that is the list of all the filings that can be initiated from here. We'll talk about those a little more later. For simplicity's sake, a number of these filings have multiple tiles, multiple versions of them, which do different things. For example, the aeronautical frequency notifications, filing a new aeronautical frequency notification is done from here. But if you need to register a new non-cable identifier for your system, which uses aeronautical frequencies, but does not cross public rights of ways and does not have a franchise agreement, you do so here. They're substantially different, and we felt that it was easier to do it through different processes. The same is true for operator changes. We have 3 tiles to do that. One for what we consider sort of run-of-the-mill operator changes, changing an address or contact information and so on. Another for the merge process, if you have duplicate communities in an area. And finally, a third tile for transferring from one to another. Beneath that is CARS licenses requiring buyer completion. The vast majority of users won't see this tile. This only appears if you have one. We use this process for filings which have components that need to be completed by 2 different parties, a seller and a buyer, for example. Below that are the filings you currently have in a draft status, those that have been saved or have otherwise been returned to you from the review process. Anything that is pending payment follows that. Then all of your filings that have been submitted, those that are processed or being rejected or otherwise not awaiting your action. Below that, any PSIDs registered to your FRN, then CARS licenses, and finally communities. Throughout, if you wish to search and search these lists, for example, if you wanted to see only Form 320s, you can enter in keywords and you can export the results. In some places, we provide even more granular search options, which allow you to increase what it is that you're looking for. Add another field, a community status, for example, and filter by the various statuses communities can be in. This is a convenient list of the various forms that are on the dashboard. Most importantly, I think for most folks, is that the Form 327 is now fully online. CARS, Cable Antenna Relay Services licenses. These licenses, previously you could only file renewals of licenses online. All other actions had to be done on paper. Now you can request a new license, transfer licenses, make major and minor modifications, and file STA requests against them online. So that will hopefully be faster and easier for everyone. One more function that is available online here and was in the old system is carriage election notices. Because of the way that these are implemented, carriage election notices are filed from the FRN selection screen. You'll notice a tile there that you can click on and then select the FRNs that you need to file for. If you have systems which are missing a carriage election notice, a list will be provided for those when you log in. The public search on the new website is much more powerful than before. It allows you to search broadly by categories. Within those, there's a lot of powerful tools, including the ability to export your results as a comma-separated values file so that you can download them, and the use of breadcrumbs to go back and forth. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of that now. Within here, we can return to the main page, which shows you the public search if you've come to our website, or you can select public search from the header bar at the top. You'll see there are 6 broad categories that you can search by. Filings, these are signal leakage reports, new registrations, and so on. Cable communities, cable systems, including their carriage election notice information. CARS licenses, CARS filings. These are separate things now. That is, that there is a license which exists. It has a call sign, technical parameters, and so on. And then there are the filings which modify those licenses. And finally, you can search for Equal Employment Opportunity 396C filings once they've, on the public side, once they've either been fully accepted or declined. We'll take a quick tour into cable communities, but these all work basically the same way. While there is a keyword search, much more powerfully, you can display search fields, which gives you the ability to search under individual categories. We type in a CUID, and we find that it has no answers, no results. You'll see that we have a breadcrumb trail here, which allows you to go back. So simply by clicking on the active operational piece, it returns us backwards through the through our search criteria. Selecting a community gives us, will provide you with all the public information about it, including all the filings which have been filed against it in the past. From here, of course, you can move forward into a filing, for example, and see that filing, including all the communities that were included on it. Hopefully includes what we just clicked on. Oh, here they are. I'm sorry. They are located here at the top. One note about public search is that when you are searching for filings, even if you display the search fields, due to the nature of the database, you cannot search directly for PSIDs or communities that were on a filing. In order to search for those, you have to use the keyword search. In most cases, printing is for the public will be done simply by printing those pages. One of the upsides of this new platform is that almost everything is simply printable. For logged in users, you will see the ability to print drafts from within your filings. I can show you that quickly now. So, so a system view to print will simply print this page, but the print view will give you far more status. This is restricted to login users because there is more information here, including, say, the payment status, which, again, this is not a real application, and so on. The other thing you'll notice about this system is that there is significantly more notifications that will be provided to users. You should receive emails upon the acceptance of filings, payment of fees, and many, many other actions that are taken. Our goal here is to improve communication as well. A few other notes about what we are, what's going on here. As Hillary noted, we've launched the system just about a week ago today, and we're going to undergo continuous improvement. We are receiving feedback already. We're sure as a result of this webinar, we'll receive some feedback. And we're hoping to incorporate that to make the system work better, more intuitively. Because we are on a new modernized platform, we believe that the ability to make long-term changes is much easier. During this webinar and after, please contact the COALS help@fcc.gov email address with specific questions about the migration from the old system to the new one. If you find that there is data that is out of date, things that were hard to see in the old system and are easier in the new system, please use our new robust Form 324 process to make those updates yourself, if at all possible. Additional resources are coming. We're preparing a lot of things to set us up for long-term success. We're in the process of writing detailed user guides, which will be posted shortly. We are preparing frequently asked questions. Now that we have the ability for folks to see the system and ask us questions, we are compiling those, and we will make those available as well. And finally, this webinar will be available long-term on the internet for folks to get a quick overview. I've not taken time to go through the individual forms themselves because they fundamentally work exactly the same as the old forms did. Our goal was to recreate what is currently required. Hopefully long-term, we can do some things to make those perhaps better and easier to file, but for the moment, we didn't want to disrupt that process that folks are familiar with. For help with what's going on, for help with this transition, there's a few different places to go with your questions. For help with logging on, with getting an FRN or FRN password and those sorts of things, you need to work with the COALS help desk, and their information is here. They have tutorials on delegating access and so on their website. For help with COALS and how the system works, accessing various parts of it or things that don't make sense, you can email coalshelp@fcc.gov. The URL for the website where the user guides and the FAQ will go shortly is there as well. For help with EEO, if you have employment unit identifier number questions, questions about a form you filed, questions about the EEO program, please email ebeo@fcc.gov at the email address on the screen. And with that, I believe that we are ready to take it to questions. Stop sharing my screen, and we can look at what we have available for us.
Very good. Well, thank you, Jeff, for walking us through the modernized COALS. Let's try to address a few of the common questions that we've been receiving from users. I'll paraphrase some of the questions. Why isn't my FRN showing up to select?
This question comes up a lot, and it has to do with the delegation of authority. The number one reason that folks aren't seeing what they expect with their username and password is that the delegation step hasn't been taken, or that they delegated the wrong FRN to them. Again, if you need to see what you want, you can use the public search or the logged in search available to you. But then you do need to go to the COALS website to actually make those changes. That being said, they're very fast. If you make a change on the COALS website, log out and log back into COALS, you should see it immediately.
Okay. And then why isn't my CUID or PSID showing up as an option filing?
So the new system, because it's FRN based, restricts your ability to file in most cases to the CUIDs and PSIDs, which have that same FRN. Overwhelmingly, we're finding that folks aren't using the FRN that is assigned to their CUIDs, either because in the past they used multiple FRNs with the CUID, or in a very limited number of cases because we were unable to determine an FRN for that CUID. If you are seeing the wrong FRN on a CUID, we would ask that if at all possible, you go ahead and use the Form 324 process to simply transfer it from the old FRN to the new one. That's a very quick process and very straightforward. If you have no FRN associated with your CUID, then please email us at COALS Help, and we will go through the process of getting one assigned.
So then how do I know what FRN I should be using?
Well, using the public search is the most efficient way to figure out the FRN that's currently assigned to a community or PSID. However, there's also a broader question. We believe that a lot of entities have used multiple FRNs over the years, and the new COALS system is designed around a paradigm where companies will have just a single FRN, which then delegates access to lots of people. And so slowly but surely, folks should transfer all their assets back under a single corporate FRN, discuss that internally, which one you want to use, and then that will make everything work more smoothly.
Can you tell me how to change an FRN?
So that's done, as I said, through the Form 324 transfer and assign process. What you'll do is you need to log in or delegate authority to yourself under the old FRN, go in, initiate a transfer. As part of that, you will specify the new FRN and all of the communities and PSIDs that you hope to move across. Once you submit that, a draft filing will appear on the new FRN's webpage. We saw there was CARS licenses awaiting buyer completion. You'll also see draft filings for an assumption of communities. Log out, log back in as the new FRN, and you'll be able to complete that process by essentially opening up the what we call the surrender of communities and completing it. And that will effectuate a change immediately. If for some reason you see a draft transfer of communities that you don't intend, that doesn't make sense to you, another user accidentally punched in the wrong FRN trying to do a transfer, you can decline these, and then they will revert back to the assign for.
How will my EEO filings connect to the correct OPIF?
So this is an important piece. As we move from COALS IDs to FRNs, OPIF has an API and a process for you to link PSIDs and EUIDs, and folks need to complete that in order to allow us to upload EEO filings to the correct place or to have them linked to the correct account. So please do that. This is the same process as before. This already existed. We didn't create that for this modernization process, but it's more important than ever now.
How can I find the latest COALS community registrations filed?
If you are looking for the latest filings, there should be a submission date, I believe amongst the public search fields, or an approved date among the search fields in the public search. You can also search by the highest file numbers. If you search file numbers in descending order and limit your filing to Form 322, which is registrations, that should give you all the most recent registrations. If you're looking for the ones just for your own company, then you can also limit it by the company name or by the FRN as you're searching. Internally, it's essentially the same process. You just have a couple of other places you can do it. You have your internal dashboard that you can search on if you'd like.
Here's a detailed question. Will the data fields allow an entry that's mixed case, uppercase and lowercase, or worse, uppercase? Apparently, what?
One of the grand benefits of having a system that's more than that's 20 years newer is that we can do uppercase and lowercase, just like the rest of the modern world.
Will there continue to be updates to data in the new COALS? What if someone notices that there's some missing data in for?
So I believe that we have completed all of our migration activities. I don't believe that we will do anything else, barring the discovery of some sort of system-wide issue. If you are noticing issues with your particular data, I would encourage you to fix it. If it is a missing channel carried on a cable system on a community, go ahead and use the 324 process to just update that. If it's a Schedule E, I believe you can file a minor mod to do that. It might be a major mod process. You can add it in. If it was we still have access to the legacy data. We can check and make sure that everything is transferred across correctly. We are aware that a certain number of counties did not populate, a fraction of a percentage of counties, due to some issues. For those, you can either reach out to us to have them populate or file a Form 324 and add them in yourself. It's an unfortunate part. We migrated around 36,000 communities, and most of the problems that we're seeing affect dozens or potentially 100 or more, few hundred communities. So really, sub 1% of our data has any sort of identifiable issues, and most of those transfer to the old system, honestly.
If you grant access to the COALS reports using the new login method, are you able to restrict what COALS reports that user has access to, or will the user have access to?
A user that has access to an FRN will have access to everything in COALS. They'll be able to do all of the actions. We did not build granular identity management in COALS. So if you have employees that do only one type of filing, they will have access to all the other types of filings.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I think we've gotten through the questions that have come in during the webinar. And so I think we are coming to the end of our session. I want to thank Jeff for his work on modernizing the system and for presenting it here today. In addition, there's a significant team of Media Bureau staff, primarily in the Industry Analysis Division, that has spent a lot of time preparing this new system. And we'd like to thank them, in particular, John Kiefer, Sean Merzadigan, Gloria Conway, Brendan Holland, and Jake Rhyme. And of course, we are very grateful for all of the support of our IT team as well in bringing this life. I want to remind users again that you can continue to send questions to coals_health@fcc.gov email address, and we will continue to address your questions individually via reply email. This video and the slides that we use today with lots of good contact information and explanations will also continue to be available on our webpage. We look forward to continuing to work with you as we roll out the new system. Thank you very much for your interest and for attending today. That's it. Thank you.